So today is the first day of my fashion career here in DMV. And I say that because I am for the first time participating in a fashion show backstage. This has always been my dream, but unfortunately I had to create opportunities in Charlotte. So I always played the organizer, the model call, person, hairstylist, all that stuff, but not really like the backstage manager. So didn't really have a lot of involvement day of, but knee deep in every single aspect of a fashion show. So today I'm going to see how it is as just styling. And I'm a volunteer stylist, of course, not like one of their main stylists, but we'll see how this goes. All right, here's my look of the day. It is just a vest dress. I'm gonna put some black shorts underneath. And this is my stylist call dress when we do the production walkout. I'm excited about this. The concept is bloom, so I figured I'd add a little flower and some color. I made this myself out of a belt. I joined two belts together. So I'm excited for all this to come together. Hopefully I can fit the bra. Okay, y'all, late, but I'm here. And trying to get my life together. I twisted the front of my hair, trying to get it to hang low and blend with the rest of the hair. It did okay. But I just think I gotta finish with my look. One thing about me, I'm gonna make a day of it. I'm here in DC today because I'm helping out with a fashion show. And I'm hungry. And a lot of times people don't cater to pescatarians like myself. So we gotta spend money. So I just thought this was so cute. I'll eat my little brunch. Just testing out the light. It's hitting. Some behind the scenes, I'm trying to catch all the shadows. The light is hitting and doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah. Hair is giving. Look at the models. It's set up. Get ready for practice. Y'all, this is the face of someone who's been out since noon. It is currently 8:51. I'm in Washington, D.C. traffic. And no show was seen. Okay? No show was seen by me. I was sitting there. First of all, I got there and was told that I was going to be a usher and not a stylist. Want to see if I can add. I had to add a little light, see if y'all can see me a little better. Okay, got there, became an usher. I don't think the light is helping. It's not giving me what I need. Yellow light is never good. Boom. Then let's see what natural light do. Nothing. Sitting there for hours and hours and hours, and they were serving lunch, but with my dietary restrictions, it's really not dietary, I'll say with my lifestyle, because I'm a pescatarian, they had like sandwiches, which was smart for people who aren't trying to spend a lot of money, because pizzas even can get expensive. So they did sandwiches. So they had like mad meat and bread options and stuff like that. Not interested. So I got nothing out of any of this. I came here to the DMV to expand my network, to expand my catalog, to expand my clientele. Neither has happened in terms of fashion shows and things of that nature. It's been very annoying, actually. And at this point, I'm really over it. And I was just talking to my best friend, like, girl, am I aged out? Because all I see is clones, like everybody with the bubble skirts, everybody with the ballerina look. Like, I am someone who enjoys individuality, and I just don't love when everybody looks alike, because it makes me feel like, am I the only one who didn't drink the Kool-Aid? Like, I don't know. But this hoe almost hit me. I'll come back. Okay, y'all. So, I figured, let's give this some time. Because I was a little teed off, as you can see from the last clip. I wanted to be sure that I came back on here with a clearer head, and also willing to kind of take these experiences as lessons. But note to self, I'm gonna have to do it like how I did Charlotte, which was I didn't see the opportunities and or networks that reflected who I am and was in Charlotte. So I created that platform, and I created a vibe, and I created a network of creatives, female designers in particular, that I was able to work with and execute a few fashion shows. So I don't know why I play with myself or my ability or my resume. But one thing about it, I'm here more so for the new networks, the new clientele. And with that being said, to me, that takes effort in ensuring that you are connected to the right people, because unfortunately, that's just the vibes, you know, like we are who we are connected to, and we get as far as we get by who we know. So that was the goal in that scenario. But needless to say, the reason why I went there was for one particular person. I have been following her, like I said, for a while. She was very interesting because while she was younger than me, I respected her hustle. She is a fashion stylist who then evolved in creative directing like a lot of us did, especially during the pandemic. And then from there, started producing fashion shows, as I have done as well. I will say hers has been more artistically inclined because she did seem to have a big support system. It was more so me and my mom. I would bounce ideas off of people, but for the most part, it was me. And then my mom just kind of pitching in how she could, and the designers just really coming in with me and being willing. So I was like, I'm not gonna compare like the execution, because for the area, for what I did, for the time frame that I did in, because one thing about me, it kind of just hits me. And I know that was one thing that kind of stressed people out about me, with the show that I did in 2020, because it was very like, you know what, I have a vision, let's do it. And for me, I don't like to do a lot of talking. If it's something that I want to do, it's something that I'm passionate in, and it's something that I feel like God is, laying on my heart to do, your girl gonna do it, and with God's grace and help. So yeah, in a nutshell, I got there, finally met her. She didn't give much of anything. It was very underwhelming. And to me, regardless of you being the producer in this, role of the show, it is your production, and you don't know who's doing this because of you, because clearly her followers and things of that nature are the largest of everybody in the group, regardless of who may be connected to whom, like on Instagram. Noticeably, their numbers are there. So being that you don't know who's following you, I just think that it's a good idea to make someone feel welcome, especially because I was a volunteer and I didn't have to be there. And to be honest, I wasted my entire Saturday. I was so pissed because initially I was gonna get a ticket. Just because of my experiences with DMV Fashion Week, I'm just like, I'm good. I spent money on the men's fashion show last year. It was meh, like it wasn't all of that. I enjoyed the networking party more than anything, and that was more street style, which is my thing. The fashion show had like beach wear, resort wear, so didn't really speak to me. And with that said, I'm not really interested in the fashion week coming, and was hoping that I could get out of that fashion week world and see what some other creators were doing, because it's a whole platform. And I was very, I don't know, I just hated that I volunteered, if that makes sense. I feel like my perception of the girl in particular, her brand, the people who are part of her brand, I feel like I would have received them better had I just been an attendee. But in my mind, like I said, I'm trying to build these relationships and get accustomed to the fashion network here. So I thought it would be a good idea to donate my time. I wasn't doing anything, and I already knew I wanted to be a part of the show. Well, fast forward, as you saw, I was there sitting for hours. The chairs, folded plastic chairs, horrible. Felt like I had hemorrhoids just sitting there. Like literally the next day, my body was hurting from sitting there so long. From there, the one girl had a genius idea around 6:15, and the doors were supposed to open at 7. And the task that was asked of me, I will say, really should have been done once I got there. But for sure, with at least an hour and a half to spare. So what that left me with is looking like the help as they're opening the doors. And I'm sitting in my casual black clothes, because I know I showed y'all the outfit that I was going to wear. But if you notice, I was way more casual, because in my mind, I'm like, if they're like needing volunteer stylists, like they're expecting a lot of motion, it's going to be busy. Like, because one thing about me, I'm going to be comfortable, period. I'm 34. I'm not like the rest of you little girls trying to prove something. I know who I am. I know what I can do. And I'm just simply here to offer help and assistance. Well, I get there and I'm told that I'm going to be a volunteer. So that pissed me off, because I just would have wore something different that I didn't need to be as comfortable with. So I feel like, you know, part of the reason why the girl probably just looking at me is just like, oh, she probably can't dress, like, why is she here? I don't know what the thoughts were or what the vibes were, but I feel like sis played with me. And I didn't like how she carried herself. It wasn't, I didn't get good vibes. And I'm a vibe person. So I was like, yeah, no, not doing this again. Going back to the fact that I wish that I had just been an attendee. So after 6:15, she gives me this task. It takes a long time. I'm there looking like Cinderella, waiting for her shoe to be found. Putting numbers on chairs and stuff so that they can like know who to bring drinks to for the bar, all this stuff, right? The main task, though, prior to that being given, was that I was supposed to get consent forms from people who were VIP, who were riding in the black truck service vehicle. Well, there was no signage when I finally rode with this man to the location at 7 o'clock. Rode with him to the location that was probably a 15-minute walk. Became an 8-minute drive, and then the second time around, he found a quicker way. Let's just say I was sitting in that car for almost an hour, and then I finally text the girl who was like over, I'll say, operations, and she was like, yeah, the show started. Just come through the side, because I'm texting her like, hey, I am, still not dressed. And I'm still at this garage where there's no signage, and you're essentially just having to wait to see if the people that walk up look like they're going to the fashion show. So it's almost like judging. Are they black? Do they look urban? What's the age group giving? Are they looking like they're waiting on people or looking for something? Like, it was just too much when I was supposed to be a volunteer stylist. So finally, after Brandon, calling me, checking up on me, being the amazing boyfriend he pulled up. And he got me from that limousine, well, not limousine, the black truck service with this random man just sitting in the car. He was wearing a mask. So it gave, you got something that you're not sure about. And he was trying to say, like, the temperature would have been hot and cold, like it was making him cough. Whatever. But, luckily I didn't get sick or anything, but it was just too much going on. The risks were just increasing, and I don't know, what to get from it was very minimum. And just the setup itself, I couldn't imagine me running upstairs, being amongst all these models that's basically going crazy, because all the designers shared models. So that being that the space was so small, it wouldn't be too many people. But even with the models that they had, it was a lot. And then you had the boys and the girl models upstairs together with only 2 bathrooms in the whole building. And just to let you know how many chairs I counted that was out there, it was like 142. That's not including the production staff, volunteers, and models. Again, y'all heard me, 2 bathrooms. And it's in DC. And if you know DC, you know if you don't buy some, you not using the bathroom. So, all in all, the location was poor. Like, it was like finding a maze to get there. So, that had already kind of set the tone for me. Like, because one thing about it, I've always been practical. When I'm planning an event, like, I want to make sure that the person knows where they're going. Because for me, especially when I was getting acclimated to Charlotte, I didn't know where I was going. And I needed people to literally spell out how to get there. Because one thing about it, when you're going to places that's like connected, like a hall where it's a lot of different businesses, the location or the GPS is just going to bring you to that place. It's still up to you to find the location. So I don't know, just having to randomly be approached by a stranger who just so happened to be assisting with the show and finding me was my biggest help. Because when I watched the girl who was running the operation aspect tell one of the volunteers, like, I don't know what to tell you, when she said she was, didn't know where she was going. She said, I don't know what to tell you, but to just use the GPS and do that you're walking. So a person who went out there, because I was willing to go meet the girl like outside and wave her down like, hey, down here. Now, do I kind of understand because she seemed like she had a lot going on? But I told her that I told the girl I would come outside. And she was just like, in the group chat, like, yeah, I would just say follow the... So, again, I didn't need that experience. And I think if anything, it has negatively impacted the way I see fashion here. It's negatively impacted the desire, I'll say, that I had potentially getting to know people on the fashion scene. I heard someone say that it's considered like a crab in a barrel, whatever the analogy is. Basically, like, it's hard to get out there, especially outside of like certain cliques. And the guy was like, well, I don't really feel like that. So now I'm seeing, and I feel like people can never really give their true perception of that until they're a transplant, if that makes sense. Like, if you're from here, you found a group of people who, you know, if they know people and they see them and they dope, they'll F with them. Okay, cool. But on a grand scheme of things, when a person is looking at your typical like Eventbrite type of events and they're not in like the circle to know the cooler, more intimate, exclusive, shall I say, events, that's when I feel like you're able to determine just how crabby all of it can get. And I'll just say that. But the lesson learned was, girl, don't try to be cheap and volunteer. Just about a ticket. Do I feel like the show is worth $50? Like, knowing, like, considering location, considering the designers, considering the looks. Out of all the models, I only really saw one that was gravitating. She really did her thing. There was one girl who was 6'5". I just think off of crowd reaction, that would be somebody I would recruit for a model. But even down to the models, like, the pics weren't that great. And it just sucks because she really does something similar to what I did. Everything is volunteer based down to the designers. You know, it's just more so about coming together, showcasing you, and that's typically for the more hungry, underrated ones. I didn't really get to see a lot of designs that you saw. It was more so practice. And I was really anticipating looking at the looks. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, I didn't even go to look and see nothing. How it turned out, what the highlights were. Didn't care. And I thought about it like, am I going to add that in the video? Will I show them what the end result was? And I was like, no, I'm not going to show y'all because that's one, how over it I am. And that's not really the point of the video. The point of the video is more so to share this horrible experience and kind of document the start of whatever I end up doing. Because I also have talked to my best friend, like, am I aged out? Because just to see the young people, the clones of it all, like, it was no individuality. But I was so glad that the next day, as tired as I was, I decided to go out with my friend. And we went to 12 Stories and we went to La Vie. The versatility, the uniqueness, it gave. But you know what? That was an older crowd. Like, it gave 30s to 40s, mid 40s. Like, excuse me, grown, sexy, aware. So the timing, it just made me so happy that I pushed myself, because I really didn't feel like it. But I took me a little nap and I went out, and it just made the heart feel so good. Because for a minute I was very discouraged. Like, this is the DC fashion scene? Everybody looking alike? Like, wow, trendy, and I guess believing that they were unique. it was the bubble skirts, the bows, the lingerie look. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, and granted, I have recently done a lingerie look or whatever, but not in the way that they're doing it, because they're even accessorizing the same way. It was just a lot. It was a lot to watch, and I feel like I was already overly stimulated because I was underwhelmed. That impacted me such a great deal, because I was just like, I've always been told, like, you from DC? Like, because I've always been unique and you know, have my individual style. And then I get up here and I'm just like, it's either clones or people that just be doing whatever with their clothes. But as I ride around sometimes, and granted, you know, DC is not the DC it once was, when I am able to come across some people with some dope stuff on, I'm just like, and this is why I love it here. Because it's no, like, true aesthetic, like, of course, the New Balance thing, stuff like that. But it's about your personal style. Like, it's a melting pot here. To submit to looking like a clone and going to a party feeling like you might have a twin, never been an interest of mine. I'm done with my rant, y'all. Like I said, just wanted to figure out, has your girl aged out? Should I keep going and find my network, my dream team? Because I really am not done with the idea of having my showroom that has the photography, the clothing rentals, the accessories, the shoes, like all the things that I had in Charlotte. Like, I'm not completely done with it, but it's like I've recently become so career oriented that it's like, is it that important to me when I don't have paying clients? Because I mean, I quit my full-time to go full-time with creative direction and styling. So there was a time that things were good, and then things were not. And that was the other side of it, just knowing that your livelihood is in the hands of someone else's livelihood. And that, to me, was something that a cross I couldn't bear. And just the things that I had to do to survive in that time frame, it almost probably scarred me, to say the least. I mean, I wasn't a stripper, but hell, it was a lot of things that I thought about, like a bottle girl, for instance. Sure did think about it. Sure did. And in my mind, I'm just like, girl, for real? And even my best friend was just like, girl, I mean, hey. But we all know my temperament. Would that be the best idea? Knowing that typically men are more flirtier with bottle girls, like all the things. I'm like, so yeah, with that said, it's just really been one of those things where I've been just trying to figure out, what do I do next in fashion, if anything. And just moving here, and now I'm being in a relationship and my focus changing, and honestly just wanting to support my man in his and entrepreneurial endeavors. I'm just like, is this what I should be doing? But I will say, when I wasn't doing anything, I didn't feel fulfilled, and that was the problem that I had when I was working my last 9 to 5. Like, when I'm not doing the fashion things, like, I don't feel like myself. So I thank God for that unction, or that empty feeling that I get, because that's really my only sign or signal to be like, girl, just hold on. It's a weird space, because honestly, I'm at a weird age, 34. While I do enjoy some of the trends, I'm not trendy. And there's certain things and principles that I stand on that don't really apply to a lot of people in this day and age. So it gets very interesting, for lack of better words, when it comes to what I showcase, who I want to affiliate myself with, who I want to be in a network with, what relationships I choose to give energy to and foster. So I'm just trying to encourage myself. And I think that's kind of the reason why, when I became more consistent with this channel since, again, proud of myself. The end of last year, I want to say like November is when I became like consistent, posting on here every week, praying like, God, please, trying to get to 500. Almost there. At the time of this video, I'm only, I want to say 2 away from 500. So fingers crossed, y'all. But yeah, I think that the reason why I kind of stay away from doing too much fashion content on here is because that area of my life is so stressful. There's so much I want to do. There's so much more that I have in me, but there's money to be made. Stability is necessary. The network is needed. But I do believe this was a reminder to tell me, continue to go outside. Because I wasn't even like outside. So I couldn't even really see what the scene was. What do people like here? And I've literally only been able to study the culture in its entirety the last 2 weeks. And that's been by going out. And I will say thanks to the summer, because in other seasons, the people are inside. And me, for one, it just gets too dark too early here. So I'll just be over it. The summer's a good time to come out and play and see what's going on. I believe that I'll get what I need to get out of this summer to come to a true understanding or peace about what's next for me in fashion, and specifically when it comes to like growing my brand in a new area. It's been very interesting, to say the least. So if you have gotten to this point of my video, thank you so much for watching and being this invested in learning about my transition, as it has been one, while it is now 2 years and 1 full year in my apartment. Yeah, man, things are, you know, happening and changing, but trying to make sure that I am not allowing one more thing to stress me out more than I need to be. So be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Let me know what you think. Should I let it go and revisit it? Should I push through it? Should I be more intentional about finding my people? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Until next time. 'Cause I don't want the simple life.